All right, this topic, I can't even. Oh my god, I'm so nervous. I can't even like bring it up. Like, bro, 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 fucking wild. Okay, I'm excited to talk about this. All right, dude, I might have experienced a UFO sighting this weekend. I'm fairly confident I did. Um, and in the moment, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is really happening. But then afterwards, I feel like I've become a little bit more sure about this. All right. It's pretty crazy. Okay. So let me break this down, the whole story of everything that happened to me. So, like, I had a friend of mine who was going to, a couple friends of mine were going to that Desert Air festival that was out in Palm Springs. And one particular friend had like an extra ticket because his girlfriend wasn't able to go, decided not to go. So he invited me out on Saturday, which was the second day of the festival. And on that lineup that day, it was like Channel Triss. I think it was like Moody Man, um, DJ Cozy, and then Peggy Goo was going to close the show out, right? So that's the whole lineup. And so he tells me in the beginning of the day I had to like run a bunch of errands, do some stuff. So like I'm running a little late, I'm running behind. So I'm like busting my ass to get out there, like swerving in and out of traffic, like going crazy. Like yeah, it was like intense. So like I'm trying to get there as quick as possible so I could possibly see Channel Tress's set. And when I start off, it's supposed to be like a 2 hour drive all the way out to Palm Springs. And then it becomes like a 2.5 hour drive with all the delays. But then I try to bust it. I try to get there as fast as I can. Dude, I was like calling an Uber from the Airbnb place where I was gonna leave my car and like crash for the night. And like on the freeway before I even got close to there, like I was like 5 to 10 minutes away, and I ordered the Uber there and pulled up, parked in the driveway, getting my jacket out because it was like really chilly, really cold for Palm Springs, and I had this bottle of tequila. Uh, I finished last night, morning chente. But yeah, I had this bottle in my backpack, and I just like pop it open. I was taking a swig, and I look over and I see the car, that Uber car that pulled up for me, starts like pulling off. I'm like, yo, hold up, wait. I had to flag him down. So yeah, end up getting the Uber, get to the show, get in there. I see Channel Tres, like maybe two, 3 songs, right? I think like 2 songs. Maybe 3 actually. Anyway, end of the set. So I meet up with my friends. We're having a good time. We're doing our thing. Mind you, I split some mushroom chocolates with a friend of mine, and I had like about a gram, I guess. It was the same ones that I took over at Outside Lands, and whoo, they did the job again. They had me feeling nice. Like I wasn't tripping out on visuals, but like I was feeling good. um, yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm getting drunk, mind you. I'm smoking, whatever, having a good time. And we go to do see Moody Man, we see DJ Cozy, and then Peggy Goo comes on. And by this point, we're like at the venue for a while or whatnot. And like I gotta explain, like the venue itself was at the Palm Springs Air Museum, which is like a air hangar next to a landing strip, like a runway or a small like airport, pretty much. I think it was like a military base, is what that was. So yeah, it was at that location. So pretty much, if I'm like staring right now at the front of the stage, to the right over here on this side was the hangar. Behind us was like a hangar, and then over here off to the side of the stage was like a fence, right? And then after on the other side of the fence was the whatchamacalled, the landing strip and the airfield or whatever. Those all are out there, right? And then outside of that, past that, in the background are some mountain ranges, right? This is Palm Springs, Palm Deserts area. If you guys have been out there, I think you're familiar with the geological formations that happen out there, right? So there's like a little bit of a mountain range, hillside area right there, right? Off in the distance. And, I'm like pretty observant in terms of when I'm outside of Los Angeles about like looking at the stars and stuff like that, especially when I'm at a concert and I'm like smoking weed. I'm like, dog, these are sick. Like you're looking around and stuff, just admiring the sky. So yeah, I noticed that you could see a lot of the stars a lot more visible than you can typically in LA. There's not light pollution and what have you. So it's nice out there. And I also noticed that like the moon was like right over the basically the horizon of where the mountainside was at, right? So it's about a half full moon and it's like pretty bright, pretty damn bright. And I have footage of it, the beginning of Peggy Goo's set. And so Peggy's doing her thing, and yeah, man, it was like 20 to 30 minutes into the set, I want to say, there was like, I noticed that something was like off or different about the light and like the way it was, I don't know, and like in the distance, things were like weird. It was different. So the first thing I noticed is that there was like a bright, shining, like cross or like an X looking object. I don't know what it was. It was like off at the very, very top of the mountainside, like right at the highest point that you could see in the field of vision, right? So at the top of that mountain point was that very, very bright light. Above that very bright light happened to be two dots that were floating up. I know this is what I noticed. There was one that was red and there was one that was like a golden color. Now those two dots were had a little bit of a tail underneath it, so it looked like there was like a beam of light that was coming from it, and so it was just like hanging out, just like right there above the mountaintop. And then I would notice that it was just like rising and ascending and just going upwards, like towards the sky. But number one, it was moving in a way that just didn't seem like how things typically move according to our technology as far as we know it. So like there was no like propeller system. You couldn't hear like, you know, like helicopter blades chopping around. Like even though we were at an outdoor concert, it was still like the sound wasn't super intense like at some places can be. So it wasn't like deafening. Like I could have a conversation, not super yelling with the people in the crowd. So that part of it was like interesting to me. It wasn't flying in like a flight pattern as like a plane would fly. And it was hard for me to kind of pinpoint the exact size of this thing because it seemed like it kept the same proportion even though it kept rising. I don't know. It's like, it's hard to explain. It's like the dot was the same size, but you saw it like moving through the sky where it shouldn't be the same size. You know what I'm saying? It was going up at such a fast rate. And what was interesting to me is like as it was rising, the tail behind it, underneath it, was going with it as well. So like typically the way light works, if you have like a spotlight or if you're using it like down onto something, you'll see the whole spectrum of that light all the way till it hits the object, right? Like if you have a spotlight or whatever, like typically you'll be able to like notice that. Well, in this particular object, there was just the initial tail coming from where it was up at top, and then there was like a break, and then on top of where the mountainside was, it was just super bright, like ultra bright, and it was just like off-putting. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense either, right? Like, I'm like really perplexed at this point. Like, what the hell is going on? And as this thing's ascending, it just keeps going higher, 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 higher. I look up to the point where I'm looking up at the sky, like all the way up, goes past over my head, and then just over the where I was in the crowd, over the whole venue, and then just out of there. And then I lost sight of it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Right? And it was crazy to me. The other thing that was interesting is that when I looked back at that area, like it was still that very bright piece of light that was right there. And also the trippiest thing that happened was when I looked back on the skyline, I couldn't find the moon where it was like a few minutes prior. And so that was bugging the crap out of me. And I mentioned it to the people who I was in the crew with. I was like, hey guys, what the hell happened to the moon? And they didn't understand like what I saw and like what I was thinking at that time. And we're obviously at a concert and like I'm on mushrooms and we're getting drunk too. And so they kind of like played it off and like kind of like what the fuck, like I was random, like, you know, like like I wasn't asking like an actual question, but I was legit like curious, like what the fuck happened to the moon. And so yeah, and then I looked up and like all the stars in the sky, you couldn't really like make them out as clear as like you had before. So I'm like, what the hell did this thing do to manipulate like the field of vision that's was going on that night? There's a lot of stuff that like questions that are asked that like don't necessarily make logical sense. So it was just by definition I saw a UFO because it was an unidentified flying object based off of what the fuck that definition is. Now, was it an alien? I do not know like what they were doing. But yeah, man, my mind just been tripping out over that stuff, man. It's been going crazy. And so I mentioned it to my friend, one of my friends who was there, like, yo, man, I think I might have seen some like a UFO tonight. And I like told him the whole story, like everybody who was in my crew. But one of them the next day sends me a screenshot of like a comment that was on Instagram from the festival. I'll show you the comment. I started taking screenshots myself and saving them. So yeah, it was this one right here. This account Mary Blair says, "Okay, did anyone else see the UFO?" So yeah, I replied to that. I may have been on motion, but I know I wasn't seeing things. Glad I wasn't the only one who noticed. I think she said replied back like OMG GG or something like that. But anyway, I checked this person out. I look at their story and I see this, right? So this kind of like corroborates what I saw. So I'm like not the only one who saw this and witnessed this. I left a comment on Peggy who's like Instagram page. And even she asked about it. She's like, people have been asking me about this. Like, what's the deal with this? So yeah, it's just been a trip. It's been an absolute mind fuck this last like 48 hours since this first happened. But man, it's like what the fuck? What the fuck is out there? Like really, really though. It's kind of unnerving, but it's kind of exciting too at the same time. So it's like I don't know how to feel about it. It's out there. Damn. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me go back to that Desert Air Festival. Um Greece. Damn. All right. Um where's my comment? Yep. Yeah, she's like, "Oh my god, 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 god." All right, let me check this chick out. Let me see what she posts anything new today. uh nope. Nope, nothing new. Let's see if she posted on her page. Nope. 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 Looks like this young raver chick was the other person who witnessed this. I tried googling it and I didn't find anything yet. So oh fuck fucking interesting. Oh, that was Quasar. Oh, that's what's up. What's up, Quinn? I didn't know you were there. Forgot that you were tagged in that. Uh, Shout out to Quinn Tucker, one of the best photogs in the game. Man, is that your favorite artist's performance? Usually taking photos of him. Man does his thing. Very, very talented. I've been at many a shows where he's been at. So Jesus, yeah, it's fucking crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. I gotta like, hold on. I gotta Google search this. I gotta see if anything else has come up because it was so intense. It was so intense. Palm Springs UFO. Bro, I mean, I think this is like the second time I've seen a UFO. Um, Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah, there's a lot of there's been a lot of sightings, I guess, of UFOs in that area. Um, UFO still being seen. Damn, this is a report from 1965. Yeah, maybe they just come around every 60 years or so. I don't know. I don't know. I had a very high thought when after this occurrence. I had the thought that I don't know because we were playing. we were at Peggy Goo's show, and dude, she was playing some hard techno. It was going in. I'm like, man, aliens fucking they be loving techno more than I do. Goddamn, trying to see what's up, man. I'm they trying to party with us out here, but yeah, part of me had the inkling or the thought that out of all of the senses that we have access to, us being humans, um, I feel like the sensory perception of sound is like the most interesting, would be the most interesting one to a creature from another planet or another realm, right? Because I feel like we have a very limited perspective in terms of what we see and what we think looks good or what is, pleasing to the eye or what isn't. Like that's very subjective, and then also it's very limited in terms of what we could see in terms of the full electromagnetic spectrum of light versus I think like sound we've played with a lot of different you know frequencies and tones and whatnot and just been able to transmit all that noise and energy out to the universe. I mean radio frequencies and all that stuff, um so yeah, I think honestly in my opinion, that would probably be the one that they would be like most keen to see. So I feel like they were kind of keeping tabs on like what the fuck is going on out here. Um, so yeah, I guess if you want to have try to create another UFO occurrence, you just need to have a dope techno set at a military base in a place that has been keen to having UFO encounters. I guess I don't know. Do it somewhere in the desert, rural area. Yeah. So this has been on my mind, and it's just been tripping out. And like, what made me trip out even more was like the very next morning when I woke up on Sunday morning at the Airbnb. I looked at my phone and I was reading my emails, and I get like news article headlines sent to me, and I got one of them. I think it was from Yahoo, and it was talking about how there was like multiple UFO sightings that has happened recently too. And the one that was tripping me out the most was the one that happened over the South Pacific in about like 10 days ago or so. Right now it's December the 13th. It was, yeah, I think it was like on the 3rd or so. It was crazy to see. So it's like I think from an Australian fighter pilot or pilot of some sort, and they're up in the air and they're like taking footage of like there's 4 dots that are in formation with another 4 dots next to it with another 4 dots next to them. So there's like 12 dots total, and they're moving across the sky. But the way they're moving across the sky is like one of the dots that'd be in the back would disappear and reappear at the front of the line, right? So it was like moving it kind of like a snake, like this. But it was trippy because they were staying in formation kind of like at a 45-degree angle for what looked like. And yeah, so those dots are just like moving across, like all three of the lines in formation, right? And then as it leaves, probably like 20, 30 seconds in, like it's a 20, 30-second clip, they disappear. They start disappearing. So like the one that would be in the back, instead of moving to the front, it would just be gone. And then there'd only be three left, and then there'd be two left, and then one left, and then it's gone. And it was like so trippy. I was like, what the fuck? So that looked pretty wild. That was pretty crazy. Um, so yeah, I guess they're coming around now. I don't know what that means. If we should be concerned at all, if we should be happy for this, like it's just, oh man, the truth is out there, man. Oh shit, this is wild. So fucking, I feel like I'm like the dude from Ancient Aliens now, just aliens. He's just like putting a wig on, just like, oh shit, man. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people believe me when I told them that I thought I saw that shit because they're like, "Bro, you're on mushrooms, man. Like, you're really not tripping out right now." And I wasn't. I was in one sense, but I wasn't in another sense. So it's like, oh, I don't know what to believe. I don't know. So just yeah, it's got my juices kind of flowing right now, and it's like, oof, oof, a little crazy. But as I mentioned earlier, I think this is the second time I've seen a UFO. There was one time when I was at LMU, which is when I was in college, which is like located near LAX, not too far from like Venice Beach, Inglewood area, on the west side of LA, and it's in Westchester. It's built up on a bluff, so there's like you can see good sight lines of like the west side of town, and yeah. So there was one particular night, I think I was out there probably smoking weed or something like that. But there's one night I was out there, and it was I look up in the sky, and there's like these three or four like dish shaped looking objects that are just up there chilling, and they have like a light to them, and it was just like kind of off putting. I was just like, remember looking, staring at the sky, going like, that's just so, it's weird how they're just chilling up there. And what's crazy is like I wasn't the only person who noticed this because there was a lot of reports that were from like Inglewood to like Venice Beach, Santa Monica area that were like confirming what I saw, and people took footage of it and posted it online. And I remember people were talking about it for a minute, like in the local news. And so it was a trip. It was fucking crazy. Be there. Yeah, I think that was probably the first one that I saw. So like this is this is two of them now. Like what's happening, man? Man, wild. It's wild. But I was just thinking, yeah. So like when aliens like have been reported to have shown up, I wonder if it happens when there's like a new breakthrough or like a new acceptance of a certain kind of sound or like the technology for like broadcasting has be like there's like an advancement in that, right? So like they were a lot of them were showing up in like the 60s, late 50s to like the 60s, and that was like an era when there was like a big change in music, but also where they were able to use electronic amps and like amplify the sound through like concert halls and arenas and all this and that. But like that kind of like exploded in terms of the possibility of how you could broadcast yourself. So like maybe that had the caught their attention at the time, where they're kind of like, well, what are these? What are these? You know, these creatures over here. What are they up to? What are they doing? What are they fixing to do? Huh? What are they finna do? So maybe they started keeping tabs on us from then, and then I don't know. Maybe they've had like the last 10 years has had like another big round of sighting of them. I'd say like the last 10, 15 years. So it's like I don't know. Did we change the game again or something? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to think. Hmm. I don't know. Apparently aliens love techno though, so we'll roll with that. But yeah, Shout out to everybody I saw there at Desert Air. That was a fun little 1 day trip out there. Um, thank you so much for the ticket. I appreciate you, Sully. My homie Sully. What up? What up? Yeah, man. I don't know where to go. I was just like, anything I talk about after this is gonna be the hard transition because it's pretty crazy. Like I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe.